Welcome to this Atvise video tutorial. In this video you will learn how to create a gauge with onboard tools of the Atvise Builder. You are going to create the graphical elements, add the dynamization and parameters to it. First, navigate to Library, Project in the project tree. Then right-click the folder Object Displays and select Add Display. Enter Gauge as name and confirm your input with OK. Now expand the folder Object Displays and open the new display with a double click. To edit the display size, go to File, Settings. Enter 100 pixels for the width and 100 pixels for the height. Save the settings with OK. Select Grid, Snap, Config Grid from the toolbar. Activate Grid by clicking the checkbox and set each value to 10. Activate Snap as well and set both values to 5. Save the configuration with OK. After the drawing area has been configured, you can start to create the graphical elements for the gauge. Select the Circle tool from the toolbar and create a circle from the center to the border of the display. Keep the circle selected and click the Fill settings in the attribute bar. Select the option Gradient and set the gradient's endpoints in a vertical line. Double-click the first color stop and choose a light gray. Save with OK. Now double-click the second color stop, choose a dark gray and set the alpha value to 255. Save these settings as well with a click on OK. The gradient settings for this element are now done. Click on OK to close the dialog. Open the same dialog for the stroke color and select None. Confirm with OK. In addition, set the stroke width to 0. Copy the recently created circle with the shortcut Ctrl-C and paste it with Ctrl-V. Place it exactly above the first one. Keep the keys Ctrl and Shift pressed while you transform the circle one step smaller from one of its transformation corners. After you release the mouse button, release both keys as well. Click on a transformation handle once to switch to the rotation mode. Rotate the element for 180 degrees. Enter the copy of the first circle again by pressing Ctrl-V. Place the circle above the first one. This time, transform the circle 2 times smaller the same way you did before. As a reminder, press and hold Ctrl-Shift and transform the element by dragging one of its transformation corners. Open the Fill options and select the gradient type Radial. Shrink the gradient's diameter by dragging the white circle to the square's corners. Now set the light color stop to the middle of the gradient and choose an even lighter gray tone for this color stop. Save the settings with OK. Open the stroke options and select the option Solid. Choose a very dark gray and save with OK. Set the stroke width to 1. With just a few steps, you have created a 3-dimensional effect. At this point, you should save the display. As a next step, add a scale to the gauge. Expand the folder Symbols in the library and select the subfolder Scales. Drag and drop the element Gauge Scale 60 into the display area. Open the object's parameters in the attribute area and choose a dark gray for the scale color. Set the values for width and height to 70 in the attribute bar. Select Arrange, align horizontal from the toolbar, and afterwards Arrange, align vertical to align the scale absolutely centered to the display. This gauge has a fixed range of values, which goes from 0 to 100. To label the values on the scale, select the Text tool from the toolbar and click into the display area. Enter 10 as text and quit the input mode by pressing the Enter key. Open the Fill options and select the option Solid. Click the button with the pipette symbol on it. Navigate the cursor exactly above an element of the scale and select its color with click. Save the fill with OK. Set the text size to 6 and the text alignment to centered. If you now try to drag the label into the right position, you notice that the drawing assistant's grid snap does not allow positioning the element where you want it to be. To bypass this behavior, you can position the element pixel precise with the arrow keys. Align the label for the position 0. Copy the text element by pressing Ctrl+C and paste it with Ctrl+V for each position 10, 20, 30, 80, 90 and 100. Position the labels as precisely as possible. Select the lower opposite pair and choose Arrange vertically. Copy the selected elements and paste it into the display area. Keep both text elements selected and move them to their corresponding position above. Position the elements with the help of the arrow keys. Repeat this procedure for the remaining pair. Duplicate a single text element for the position 50. You can position it exactly central by selecting Arrange, Align horizontally. Edit the labels to their corresponding values. Text elements can be edited with a double click. If you've finished editing, save the display again. To display the value, the gauge needs a needle. Select the polygon tool from the toolbar. Draw a needle form as shown in the video. Set the last path point with a double click to exit the editing mode. Take care that the element's diagonals are going straight through the center of the display. Choose a fill color that is clearly visible, for example orange. Set the stroke color to none and the stroke width to 0. To enable parameters for the object display, they have to be created. With Atvise, this is easily done. Open File, Parameters. Name the first parameter MyBase. Enter MyBase as description 2. Set the behavior to mandatory and other fields remain empty. Name the second parameter Label. Set the value $label in capital letters as substitute. Enter label as description and set the value type to string. Enter label into the default field. For further details to display parameters, please check the Atvise help or press the help button. Save the parameter settings with a click on OK. Now select the needle. The small yellow box is the reference point. It indicates the center or start point for the dynamization. Set the reference point to the gauge's center. Right-click the needle and select Add Simple Dynamic. The event type Node is correct. Click the R button to activate relative addressing. Select the parameter MyBase from the drop-down list. The action type Rotate is again the correct selection. Set the minimal value to 0 and the maximum value to 100. Both angle values are relative to the current position of the graphical element. Since the needle points at the value 50, enter -150 degrees for the start angle and 150 degrees for the stop angle. Save the dynamization with OK. Select the text tool from the toolbar again. Click on the display area and enter the substitute $label. Press the Enter key to exit the editing mode. Open the Fill settings and use the pipette tool to select the gray color tone of the scale as fill color for the text. Save with OK. Set the text size to 9 and make sure that the text alignment is set to center. Place the text element below the needle and align it with Arrange, align horizontally to the middle of the display. Now save the object display. Navigate to Server, My Server in the project tree and right-click on Objects. Select Add Node Data Variable in 32. Name the node Motor and confirm with OK. Expand the folder Displays and open the display main. Now drag and drop your object display from the project tree into the display area. Open the previous created parameters in the attribute area and click into the My Base Parameters value field. Open the object selector with a click on the button with the 3 dots on it. Select the node Motor from the list and confirm your selection with OK. Enter the text Engine as label text. Confirm your input by pressing the Enter key. Drag and drop the rocker switch from the library into the display area. Select the same node as base address. Expand the parameter group Options and set the minimum to the value 0 and the maximum to the value 100. Save the display. Open the visualization from the Atvise Builder menu, Guided Actions, open Web Browser for Server, My Server, HTTP 1. Zoom the elements with the Zoom to Rectangle tool. You can now test your object display. Impressive! You created your own gauge. As a result, you learned how to create the graphical elements, the parameters, and the necessary dynamization for it.